Hello and welcome to another edition of Gadabout Football. My name's Adam and today I want to talk about the best 11 not to win the Champions League. The Champions League, or the European Cup as it was originally known before rebranding, has been established as the greatest club competition in the world. This tournament has been won by some of the greats of the game: George Best, Marco van Basten, Lionel Messi and Jonathan Greening. However, in this Gadabout Football list, I'm giving you a rundown of the football legends 1 to 11 who have never quite managed to get their hands on the trophy despite being worthy enough to win it. For simplicity, this 11 will be a traditional 4-4-2 because 1, I am old enough to have bought the original copies of 442 magazine, and 2, it gives me an extra spot for a striker who's missed out. Furthermore, in order to keep it a little bit more contextual, players will only be included in this list that have actually taken part in the competition, so unfortunately there will be no should have been Sir Bobby Moore. Also, if they're still playing and in their prime, they've also been bumped. Anyway, let's go. In goal, whilst there are a number of possibilities, there is a clear winner here. Well up there with the greatest of all time, Gianluigi Buffon. The Parma and Juve legend, with a career spanning more than a quarter of a century and having won pretty much everything worth winning in the game, is still missing a Champions League winner's medal. Despite being back at his beloved Juve, time is fast running out for everyone's favourite Italian keeper, and the adopting of the number 77 shirt this time around seems to suggest that if he does win it, he will only be a bit part player in proceedings. The furthest Buffon ever came to winning it were 3 finalist appearances for Juve in 2003, 2015 and 2017, with the 2003 match against fellow Italian giants AC Milan being the best opportunity of the lot. The Bianconeri lost to the Rossinieri 3-2 on penalties, with Buffon's 2 saves in the shootout following a dull 120 minutes of normal time without a goal, not being enough to take home a winner's medal. At right back, we've got Berti Vogts. Berti Vogts is a Borussia Mönchengladbach and West German legend, playing 31 games in the old European Cup during the 70s. He was affectionately known as the Terrier, but unfortunately for Vogts, these appearances didn't culminate in Mönchengladbach being crowned champions of Europe. Vogts won 5 West German league titles in 8 seasons with Die Fohlen, in an era where Franz Beckenbauer's Bayern Munich took 3 consecutive European titles. In that time, Vogts did get his hands on 2 UEFA Cups as well as a German Pokal. More glory came with the national side, Vogts winning a European Championships winners' medal in 1972, following it up with a World Cup winners' medal on home soil 2 years later. This often underrated star outside of Germany, Vogts was also part of the Bundesliga Team of the Seasons on no fewer than 9 occasions, West German Footballer of the Year twice, and again emulated that feat at national level by being included in the FIFA World Cup All-Star team in 1974 and 78. As Liverpool fans will undoubtedly comment below, the closest Vogts got to winning the trophy was leading out his side in the 1977 European Cup final against the Reds in Rome. Vogts didn't have the best of games after being penalised for bringing down Kevin Keegan late on, conceding a penalty. Phil Neal duly converted, Liverpool took the game 3-1 and retained the trophy. And you probably only remember him as a manager of Azerbaijan, or to a lesser extent, Scotland. At centre-back, Diego Godin. An import to Europe from Uruguay, Diego Godin is one of the most admired, respected and toughest centre-backs in the game today, or at least he was a few years ago. The reason Godin qualifies for the list, despite still playing well into his 30s, is that he is currently playing for Cagliari, and Champions League glory seems a light year away. Diego Godin has represented his country a massive 137 times from 2005, picking up a Copa America in 2011. However, we're interested in the Uruguayan's credentials club-wise for this list, and those are pretty impressive. After 3 seasons with Villarreal, Godin moved to Atletico Madrid for a paltry €8 million, a bargain, spending 9 superb seasons with the Colchoneros, excuse the pronunciation, before the club he was so loyal to avoided a testimonial and dumped him in 2019 to Inter. In his time at Atletico, Godin grabbed a league title and a Copa del Rey, as well as 2 Europa Leagues and 3 Super Cups. The South American strongman had 2 brushes with greatness in 2014 and 16, losing to derby rivals Real both times. Despite losing on penalties in 2016, it was far closer first time around when Godin actually put Atletico Madrid ahead, where they held the lead for the best part of an hour until Sergio Ramos scored in time added on at the end of the game. Why sides don't put men on posts anymore at corners, I do not know, but that's for another video. That goal resulted in an Atletico collapse, Real eventually running out as 4-1 winners, which seemed like a travesty at the time, but I'm sure that Diego will be happy with the silver lining that he made my 11 as a result. Occupying that second centre-back spot, Lilian Thuram. After Gianluigi Buffon, French central defender Lilian Thuram is probably the least controversial player on this list. World Cup and Euros winner, Thuram won a record 142 caps for France in their golden period of the late 90s and early noughties. Hailing from the French overseas département of Guadeloupe, Lilian Thuram split most of his playing career amongst three clubs, Monaco, Parma and Juve, along with a 2-year stint at Barcelona towards the end of his career. Playing 10 years of his career at Monaco and Parma meant Thuram only made his debut in the 93-94 competition. More opportunities arrived with the 2001 move from Parma to Juve with, you guessed it, and there's already been a bit of a spoiler for how it turned out, Gianluigi Buffon. Juventus obviously gave Thuram as little joy as it did Buffon in the Champions League, and a swan-song move at 34 years of age to Barcelona didn't bring him much closer. For a player of this quality, the Frenchman's array of club-level winners' medals is relatively sparse. A couple of Serie A titles with Juve, a French Cup with Monaco, an Italian Cup and UEFA Cup with Parma. The closest Lilian Thuram got to the Champions League winners' podium immortality was in the previously mentioned final defeat to Milan in 2003 on penalties. Completing the defence at left-back, Giorgio Chiellini. Right, you'll be seeing a theme here. Juventus stalwarts. Actually, I could have done a 1-11 in this category just using Juventus players. However, I'm almost certain that this is the last one. Maybe. So please forgive me, there was a real dearth of non-European Cup Champions League winners for this position, until you enlighten me with your comments below, of course. With over 100 caps for the Azzurri, Giorgio Chiellini is a player that deserves respect. He may have missed out on the victorious Italian World Cup winning squad, but he has made up for it in his club career. After unproductive stints at Livorno and Roma, including a loan move to Fiorentina, the Italian hardman made a move to Turin for just €4.3 million in 2005. From left-back or centre-back, Chiellini has 9 Serie A titles, 4 Coppa Italias and 4 Super Coppa Italias, and a degree in economics and commerce from the University of Turin to his name, as well as teeth marks emblazoned in his shoulder from an encounter with Luis Suarez. However, his hardman image on the pitch and his own personal abilities and that of his beloved Juve have not secured him a winning appearance in the Champions League final. Unluckily, Chiellini missed out on the 2015 3-1 final defeat to Barca with a muscle tear, and despite starting the 2017 final versus defending champions Real Madrid, he could do little to stop the Spanish giants running out as 4-1 winners. Some of you will probably call this a bit of a cheat as, at 36, Chiellini is still at Juventus, albeit in a supporting role. I'm hedging my bets for this season that this will work out with Juve blowing it again, and the video will actually age well. So that completes the defence on the list. Continuing the list with the players who are the greatest never to have won the Champions League, here are the midfielders. On the right side of midfield is Roberto Baggio, and yes, he played for Juve, so there is another player at least. This former FIFA World Player of the Year and Ballon d'Or winner was comfortable on either wing, with either foot, and so snugly fits into this slot, sporting his divine ponytail. With 56 Italian caps and 27 goals, Baggio was one of the players of the 90s, reaching a World Cup final, missing a penalty kick in the shootout loss to Brazil. However, it was his inventiveness, sleeky skills and sleek Italian good looks that made him the icon he was. However, despite his individual brilliance, memorable goals and unique skills, his trophy collection was a little on the Spartan side. Starting his career with Vicenza at 18, he then secured an upmarket move to Fiorentina. However, it was Baggio's 55 goals in 136 games that endeared him to Juve. La Signora, proving a Champions League curse once more, and despite a record of a goal every other game, he only picked up a solitary Scudetto and Coppa Italia, albeit a double win, as well as a UEFA Cup winners' medal. A big move to AC Milan in the mid-90s saw his appearances curtailed through injury, and that stint rewarded him with just one more league title, his final club honour. A surprise move to Bologna followed after just 2 seasons in Milan, and despite a move back to the city with Inter for the 99-2000 season, he didn't qualify for the Champions League. A swan song at Brescia, now well into his 30s, was never going to trouble the record keepers. Baggio never really got close to winning the Champions League, always seemingly joining clubs who kept missing out on qualification despite their stature. This resulted in a mediocre 3-1 quarter-final loss in '99 to eventual winners Manchester United, being as good as it got. At least he has his Man of Peace award. On the left of midfield, Georgie Hagi. With a foot seemingly made of pure gold and eyebrows made of pure Eastern European character, Georgie Hagi is undoubtedly Romania's favourite football son. Coming to prominence with the national team at the '94 World Cup finals in the US, Hagi was responsible for one of the tournament's best strikes and was the talisman that saw the Romanian side deservedly reach the quarter-finals before being edged out by Sweden on penalties. Hagi also made that tournament's all-star team. That said, even before that tournament, Hagi had already come as close as he was going to get to the European Cup, having played and lost in the final with Steaua Bucharest in '89, being pulled apart by that great Milan side dominated by Gullit, Van Basten and Rijkaard in the final. He enjoyed a lucrative move to Real Madrid soon after, picking up the Supercopa de España, a feat he repeated with Barcelona several years later. However, the Romanian's most rewarding spell came with Steaua, collecting 3 league titles, 2 Romanian Cups and a Super Cup, and post-Barcelona with Galatasaray, helping the Turkish side to their nation's only major European title to date, the 2000 UEFA Cup. Hagi also picked up the UEFA Super Cup with the Turkish Giants as well as 5 national titles and 2 cups. As this haul of silverware does come at a lower level when compared to others who start on this list, it doesn't detract from how good a player Hagi was, and his unique ability to get the best out of sides which weren't usually finding themselves playing against bigger clubs or nations for silverware shows his mettle. Individually, the Romanian was Europe's top scorer in '87-88, was 4th place in the Ballon d'Or in '94, and was crowned Footballer of the Year 10 times whilst playing for Steaua and Galatasaray, but never came close to winning that lucrative Champions League winners' medal. In the centre of midfield, the incomparable Diego Maradona. In this lineup, this is arguably the best player to have ever lived, or at least to most of Argentina, and he will be taking up an attacking midfielder role. Probably the most talented of all the players to make the first 11 here, Maradona has pretty much done it all and taken it all on and off the pitch. Starting his career with Argentinos Juniors, then moving on to Boca Juniors at the age of 20, the little genius turned Europe's head when he joined Barcelona after making a hot-headed impact in the '82 World Cup in Spain. However, it was at Napoli he really made his name before finishing his Euro odyssey with Sevilla before moving back to South America. Maradona became world-renowned on the international stage by not only scoring those 2 goals against England, but also by tearing Belgium apart in the semi-finals and leading his nation to their 2nd World Cup title, vanquishing West Germany in the final. Despite getting his godlike hand on the trophy every footballer wants to win, Maradona couldn't get close to the European Cup. As for his European Cup challenge, Maradona had a meagre 2 forays in the competition with Napoli, but they both ended in disaster and some embarrassment. The best performance came in the 1991 iteration, when his beloved Napoli went out on penalties to Spartak Moscow in just the 2nd round. As far as domestic success goes, the Argentinian did help himself to one of each of Spain's domestic cups with Barca, and with Napoli led his side to 2 Scudettos, including the double in '87 and a UEFA Cup in '89, as well as the Supercoppa Italia. Furthermore, his individual accolades are almost endless, as it should be. Occupying that other central midfield slot, German legend and World Cup winner Lothar Matthäus. Matthäus is a product of supreme quality German engineering, with the utmost longevity at the highest level. The midfield maestro has recorded the most appearances at any World Cup with 25, along with the joint highest number of World Cups participated in, attending 5. The Teutonic midfield marshal even won German Footballer of the Year at the age of 38 and is the most capped German international with a massive 150 appearances, scoring 23 goals from this position, winning the Euros in 1980 and leading West Germany to World Cup success 10 years later. Lothar Matthäus is just as successful at club level and has played for some of the best sides in Europe, starting at Borussia Mönchengladbach, followed by 2 spells at Bayern Munich either side of 4 years with Inter Milan, chalking up almost 600 appearances for just those clubs. In that time, Matthäus has claimed 7 Bundesliga titles, with 3 German Cups and UEFA Cup, along with some other small trinkets, and with Inter took a Scudetto and another UEFA Cup. So it's shocking that this true great, bestowed by an almost never-ending list of personal awards, and with the chances he's had to acquire a Champions League medal, has fallen short. Most of you will already know how close Lothar Matthäus came to lifting the Champions League, being on the wrong side of a 2-1 turnaround against Manchester United in 1999. But did you know that Matthäus had a similar experience back in '87 against Porto, albeit not quite as dramatic? In the Germans' first spell with Bayern, they led in that final from the 25th minute, only for Porto to score twice in 3 minutes late in the second half, taking the trophy. And thanks to bottling those two finals, Lothar Matthäus fits snugly into my first 11. So there are the 4 midfielders to make the list of the greatest players never to have won the Champions League. Continuing this list of the greatest players never to have won the Champions League, here are the 2 strikers for you. Leading the line is Brazil's Ronaldo. Not to be confused with Portugal's Cristiano Ronaldo, of course, who's greedily won 5 Champions League titles to date. Ronaldo Luis Nazario de Lima never managed to add to this title to his wide collection of team and almost endless array of personal winners' medals. The Brazilian arrived on Europe's shores to ply his trade just before his 18th birthday with PSV Eindhoven, scoring 44 times in just 47 appearances over 2 seasons. It wasn't long before the big clubs started calling and Barcelona won the race for his signature, and for a sole season he graced the Camp Nou, scoring amazing 54 goals in 57 games, helping his side win the Copa del Rey and UEFA Cup Winners' Cup, and becoming the first winner of the FIFA Player of the Year award at just 20 years of age. Due to contract renewal complications, the Brazilian marksman moved to Italy and to Inter Milan, playing 5 seasons for the Nerazzurri, but only winning a UEFA Cup in that time. The goals kept coming, but after a move back to Spain and Real Madrid, another 5 seasons only brought a meagre, solitary La Liga title. It was at Madrid where Ronaldo came closest to winning the tournament, a semi-final defeat to Juventus in 2003. Not even a move back to Italy with AC Milan for a couple of seasons could remedy this anomaly. And what's more, during all of this, Ronaldo collected 2 World Cup winners' medals in '94 and 2002, 2 Copa Americas and a Confederations Cup. I called out Maradona as the greatest player never to win this tournament, but those of you in the comments who want to argue that Ronaldo is actually the greatest are well within their rights. Finally, playing alongside Ronaldo Luis Nazario de Lima, the all-time record goalscorer in top-flight football in England, Jimmy Greaves. For those of you under 30, you may have heard the rumours that there was once a time before the Premier League. Since then, all records seem to have been reset. Similarly, as you must have discovered from watching this video, there was a time before the Champions League too. The UEFA European Champions Cup era, where only the actual champions of the league, plus the holders, qualified. Well, if you can ingest that, then maybe you'll be able to take in also the fact that Alan Shearer is not England's greatest ever club goalscorer. That accolade goes to Jimmy Greaves. Jimmy Greaves spent the successful part of his career in London, splitting his time between Chelsea, West Ham and most famously Spurs. During that time, Greaves helped himself to 413 goals in 588 games, plus a brief stint in Italy with AC Milan, where he hit the back of the net 9 times in 14 matches. Despite his unparalleled goal-scoring feats, Greaves' personal medal haul was undeservedly underwhelming. Nevertheless, Jimmy Greaves managed to take a Scudetto, 2 FA Cups and Britain's first European trophy, Spurs' win in the 1963 Cup Winners' Cup. On top of that, the Londoner also has a World Cup winners' medal, despite being kept out of the side by Sir Geoff Hurst, after being sidelined by an injury earlier in the competition. Greaves is also one of England's greatest scorers on the international stage, with 44 strikes in just 57 outings. This elite forward only managed a solitary campaign in the European Cup. As Greaves spent the first half of the 1961-62 season at Milan, he only played in the semi-final, where Spurs eventually went out to Benfica, who won the tournament 4-2 on aggregate. Well, there you have it. That's your first 11 of the greatest players never to win the European Cup, aka Champions League. That said, there has to be some honourable mentions. There are enough greats who weren't great enough in this competition, who have a further failure to live down, not making this first 11. As I may want to make at least one follow-up video to this, I'll simply say Lev, Ruud, Zlatan, Eric, Sergio Pavel, Patrick, Gabriel, Jurgen, Duncan, Roger, Just, Fritz, Alan, Andreas and John for starters are other players who should have been in this list. Anyway, let me know what you think. Please like, share and subscribe, comment below, and thanks for your support.